Hello everyone, this is Darren from the No Guts No Galaxy podcast. I'm here to discuss your BattleMech's weaponry, specifically weapon grouping. Weapon groups allow the MechWarrior to be more efficient on the battlefield, giving them better control over which weapons they use and when they use them. BattleMechs can have multiple weapon systems. Each of those systems are unique in their fire rate, duration, damage, range, reload time, and heat output. Mech warriors use weapon groups to fire specific weapons with similar characteristics, such as the location of the weapon on the mech or the range of the weapon. For example, you can group your arm-mounted weapons separately from your torso-mounted weapons, or your long-range missiles separately from your medium lasers. Weapon groups are also very useful for managing your mech's heat output, allowing you to fire weapons separately and at intervals, keeping your heat level below the shutdown threshold. This can be taken one step further with chain fire, which enables you to cycle through all of the weapons in a weapon group, firing them one at a time. You can also set an alpha strike group, firing all of your weapons at once to get that kill shot before they kill you, for example, regardless of the heat consequences. The weapons configuration display can be seen in the bottom right corner of your screen. When you first drop into a match, your BattleMech's weapons will be set in a default configuration. This configuration varies depending on the specific mech. Weapons can be assigned to one of 6 weapon groups. To navigate through your weapons, use the up and down arrow keys. To navigate between groups, use the left and right arrow keys. To assign a weapon to a group, navigate to that weapon and to that group and press right control. To unassign a weapon, follow the same steps. A weapon can be assigned to multiple groups. If a weapon is not assigned to a group, it cannot be fired. Your mouse buttons will also be set in a default configuration, with mouse button 1 firing the currently selected weapon group, and mouse button 2 firing weapon group 2. If you have a mouse with more than 2 buttons, buttons 4 and 5 will fire weapons group 3 and 4 respectively, while the scroll wheel, or button 3, is set to toggle zoom mode. And of course, all of these settings can be customized in the user interface under Options. We will now discuss 3 basic firing modes: Group Fire, Chain Fire, and Alpha Strike. Group Fire is firing all of the weapons in a specific weapon group at the same time. It is commonly used with identical weapons or weapons with similar attributes, such as location and range. Chain Fire is firing all of the weapons in a specific weapon group one at a time as fast as the pilot fires, restricted only by reload times. Holding the fire button down will result in one weapon firing after the other, based on the firing rate and cycle of each weapon. While tapping the fire button repeatedly will result in weapons firing and cycling to the next available and ready weapon. An Alpha Strike is firing all of your weapons at once. This is achieved by assigning all of your weapons to a single group. The main purpose of an Alpha Strike is to do as much damage as possible in a single volley. This is normally done without regard to heat management. However, in the hands of an experienced pilot, Alpha Strikes can not only be managed, but be instrumental in putting mass amounts of damage on the enemy targets. And finally, here are a few tips to help you succeed on the battlefield. If you have arm weapons, try grouping your left weapons to your left mouse button and your right weapons to your right mouse button. This allows you to fire from cover while still maintaining partial cover and not fire weapons unnecessarily into buildings or hills. Know your mech. Learn the limits of the heat output of your particular mech and know when to alpha and when to use chain fire. Try placing weapons with the same types of velocities and trajectories together. For example, lasers with lasers, ballistics with ballistics, and so on. This has been the weapon grouping tutorial. Be sure to watch our other tutorials, and on behalf of myself and the No Guts No Galaxy podcast, until next time, Mech Warrior.